Alright, what up world? It's your man G Williams coming at you. And I ain't gotta say it. You know, this alright because I ain't wrapped too tight. But I'ma say something.
Hey, what up world? It's your boy G Lewis, and I just want to let you know I say what I say because I am my father's son.
As always, make sure you log on to YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Book of G. Hit us up on Facebook. And hit us up at thebookofg@gmail.com for your questions, your comments, your concerns. If you like us, if you love us, or if you ain't never gonna think of us, we still gotta know it.
That's right.
Because we can only make this happen if you, the people, want it to happen. So with that said, let's parlay on to this topic today.
So we talked about the Black Agenda already, and one of the things we covered in the Black Agenda was we talk about grassroots organizations, different things like that. But along with the Black Agenda, we kind of touched on it, goes Black leadership. You know, we ain't got no more leaders.
No.
You know, we got the same old people. And this is no offense to Reverend Al Sharpton and Reverend Jesse Jackson, and all of you that marched with Dr. King during the Civil Rights era. No offense to you, but it's time for us to have some new leaders, and so we don't know who those are, and so it makes me wonder, the question is, are people interested in leadership, you know, when it comes to the Black community?
I think we are interested in leadership. It just can't be the same old way it was done, you know, because Jesse Jackson got booed in Ferguson.
Yes, he did.
You know, enough with that old style leadership. I think people are ready for it. I just think that it can't be a finger in the face type of leadership. You know, the climate has changed so much with technology, social media, and all these other things that we got going on, that where I think it's dangerous almost to have a one pinpoint focal man, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You know, there has to be several leadership groups that can collaborate together, I think, for the success of the modern day movement.
Okay. And I agree with you. I do think people are interested in there being some leadership. I just don't think people want to be the leaders. I think that is part of the conflict. So, you know, you end up having people who, I call it the waiting for Moses, the waiting for Moses theory. And let me break that down for you. So some of you know what I'm talking about, because some of y'all are probably churchgoers and they're like, what is this dude talking about? Waiting for Moses. Now, the Egyptians had a real big army. We know the children of Israel were the slaves, right? According to biblical record. There were a lot of slaves in Goshen. A lot of them. These cats had hoes, sticks, bricks. Like, they really could have went to Egypt and wrecked shop. But they didn't. They got beat. They got lynched. They got burned. Sound familiar? Every day. Until Moses showed up. When Moses showed up, they was ready to follow somebody. Nobody in that group was ready to step out front and say, I'll be the Moses. So that's what I mean by waiting for Moses. We're all sitting back like we thought President Obama was going to be our Moses. He's going to be our savior. And I think we read too many stories about saviors that we don't understand that leaders are, you know, they step into those roles. You know, they not just appointed leaders. They step into those roles because it's a necessity for somebody to be out front. So that's kind of, but I like what you said about different groups, and we, you know, we had these questions in order, but that's okay. We fluid, we go with the flow. Why do we have so many organizations that don't work together?
Okay, here it goes. Set it off.
There it is.
Yeah, because there is no I in team, but there is a me. For sure. And when you got these various organizations, you know, the me mentality breeds that our topic, our issue is the only one on the table that needs to be addressed. And so if you ain't for it, you ain't with us. You know, on some. And then you got your others who are really just after me. When I talk about that me, I'm talking about that me guap. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's
money and civil rights.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Money and civil rights.
And that's, you know, pointing back to some of the bad examples. That's why a lot of the so-called present leaders that we have today are ostracized and ridiculed so much, and they call them, you know, money chasers because they're attacking issues when it comes to getting campaign donations and blah blah blah, but not seeing any change. And so, yeah, when you got those people who are cashing in on the struggle, it sours a lot of people to the leadership and or joining a particular group because they can't see the transparency of that group financially too.
In my opinion, which I believe is the majority. Like I said, there is money in civil rights, and you have camera chasers. You have different things that are happening all over the nation that require the attention of these organizations. Yet you only see and hear them when it's one that's getting national media attention. Instead of them bringing the issue to the media, they showing up after the media's already there. You know, which to me, that means that we have a problem with our designated leadership. So, you know, what happened to passing the torch? Like, did we miss that? I remember watching that on, what was it, Hip Hop versus the World or something that was on BET a long time ago. They had rappers and stuff, and they was with civil rights people on the panel. And they talked about the passing of the torch. What happened to the passing of the torch? If the struggle ain't over, if the fight ain't over, then why haven't you prepared new leaders to step into leadership roles? Like, why do you think?
It is, I'll put it in the corporate America frame of mind. What I've seen, you know, my short time in corporate America is no one wants to train the next person for their job because they believe they've become irrelevant. And I think that's honestly happened within our community too, where, you know, like you said, the camera time or the money hungers, I can't let nobody else get this paper. I can't let nobody else get this shot. You know, and so that's where the passing of the torch gets missed. And also because when you refuse to change, then you become irrelevant eventually. And being stuck in your old ways causes those new, fresh ideas that constantly get shut down to go astray and to go their own way when they could have been fostered and mentored. Now you've neglected them so much now that the trust factor is broken, that they go out and do their own thing, and it just creates a constant cycle that the torch couldn't be passed because the torch was put out.
You're right. And you know what, there's two ways to immortality. I ain't mad at nobody for wanting to shine, you know, but you either got to die for your cause, you got to be willing to die for it, or two, you have to make a change that's so monumental that it can't be passed up. So, which means, you know, fostering leadership, you know, passing the torch, you know, doing those things that are absolutely necessary, because that's how you maintain continuity. To steal a line from Drumline, because, you know, the new one was on TV. But the movie, remember the movie Drumline? Yeah. And the cat said, he said to the dude, he said, you know, why did I make you section leader? You know, he said, well, you said I prefer the sound of the band than the sound of my own drum. We have to be focused on the big picture than on ourselves. As long as we focus on ourselves, then, you know, the big picture don't matter and people can see right through you. That's how you end up getting booed. People are tired of hearing catchphrases and they want to start seeing results. So if you're not prepared to deliver results, you know, then you need to get out the way. Not to mention, those young folk in Ferguson started that. They started that. They didn't want you coming down there telling them, okay, we here now. Get out the way. Let us get the airtime. But there could have been so many other things they could have been doing. They could have been showing those people in Ferguson how to get a meeting with the mayor. They could have been, hey, we want a meeting with the Justice Department. Hey, let me show you guys how to do this, because y'all got the Occupy part covered. Y'all got that covered. And let me meet with your leaders and find out, what do you need from me?
Exactly.
What do you need from me? You know, what can I do outside of Ferguson to help you guys? Right. You know, maybe there's some media networks that I can put you in touch with. Maybe I can get USA Today down here to talk to you. They didn't do none of that. They came, hit the ground, and said, all eyes on me.
The degradation of the hypocrisization and the marginalization, it makes me, it's an imagination.
The cat in the hat. Yeah, that's how they do it.
It's all a part of his imagination.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, okay, so mentoring was always a big thing in our history, right? How do we mentor? And why, you know, like, how do we mentor and who? Mm-hmm. Who do we mentor? Mm-hmm. You know, how is that supposed to work?
I heard a bishop once say, mentoring is just opening the book of your life.
That's right.
Intimacy. And so, in order to be an effective mentor, one has to be able to peel back the layers, mm-hmm. and to those who are deserving, of course, but to really peel back those layers and share not only successes, but the struggle through and to those successes. Mm-hmm. That's how we mentor. You know, and on the same part, those who are looking for the mentor, the mentee, has to be willing to accept and to go out and to seek people and get their help. I'm trying to firm this, in their time. Because you can't just say, I want to be a mentee, okay, stop everything you're doing and take me on. No, because if you're following somebody, hopefully you're following somebody who's doing something, who's successful, who's busy. Mm-hmm. And they can't stop their life in order to bring you in. But if you can come as a prepared mentee, meaning you have the proper questions that you want to ask, you have an agenda that they can see, now we create a good mentor-mentee relationship, because I don't have to stop in order to bring you on, and I can build you exactly where you are. So that's
yeah. And you know what? Like for me, to have a successful mentoring program, you need two things. One, which is probably the biggest, you need trust. There has to be trust. You know, so you have to have an established relationship with an individual before you can mentor them. Right. But two, mentoring needs to be like a cycle. So, you know, like I would tell my nephews stuff. You know, my sister got twin nephews. I would tell them stuff, and then I would tell them, now your job is to go find a 15 or 14-year-old to go teach them the same thing I just taught you. Mm-hmm. That's your job. My job is to talk to, a 30-year-old or a 25-year-old cat, and he's supposed to go talk to a 20-year-old cat, and that cat's supposed to go talk to an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old, because that's what we used to do. Right. We learned how to become husbands and learned how to run our own households because it was taught that way. Granddad showed dad, dad showed us, we showed little brother, little brother showed littler brother, and little brother showed littlest brother.
Ooh. You just hit on another topic, and it's got to be another show.
Yeah, that's
because we ain't got Granddad no more.
Oh yeah, Granddad is not in the household.
We got Big Mama in the club.
Yeah.
Telling Mama who telling Baby. That's a whole other show. Don't even let me go there.
That's another show.
Yeah,
or Granddad has been systematically removed from the household too. That's another show. But I believe that's the only way for effective mentoring to work, and we go back to looking at the big picture, and I have to care about more than just myself to make that happen. So I have to care about your well-being and have a big picture theory. You know, now I have a background in law enforcement. I studied some law enforcement stuff, and one of the things that I realized is how you deal with people is important. Right. How you talk to people is important. Right. And why is that important? Because the theory is the person that I talk to today, that I might convince to say, hey, you know what, I don't want to knock people over the head and rob them no more. It's the Spider-Man effect. That might be the person that get released that might not rob or kidnap my daughter one day when she's walking home from work. I don't know what fate will allow for interaction. So I have to plan for the big picture. The more people I change their mind, the more people I put out there that'll go do the right thing. And that may not ultimately affect me, but it might affect you one day. That might be the difference between the dude running up on you when you with your people and pulling a gun out on you and causing you harm because he just had a conversation that was meaningful to him. You know what I'm saying? So we got to start looking at the big picture and investing in the big picture. It don't have to pay dividends to me. It just has to pay dividends. You see what I'm saying? And by doing that, it will impact me. And as a parent, I want to leave a better world for my kid to live in. I don't want to leave a world where it's more jacked up than it was when I was growing up. I want to leave a better one, and I can't do that without investing in it. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? More investment, less withdrawals. So, I mean, so with that being said, we got our established leaders. We got an idea of what kind of leaders we're looking for. You know, some of these people in these young movements are looking for younger, more galvanizing, charismatic leadership. Who should lead? Like, what kind of people should we be looking for? And do you have, if you had to name one person that you said, hey, I think this person could galvanize a group and I'd follow. Throw it out there.
I threw a name out right off the top of my head. Jeff Johnson.
I like Cousin Jeff.
Cousin Jeff. You know,
I like
do you go by Cousin Jeff anymore? I don't know.
He sometimes, you know, he go with what works for him.
Right.
You know, I like Jeff Johnson.
I think he's in a position now where, because he's always been active, you know, and he's older now, but he still has a foot to the street, you know, and his experience. I think that's someone in the right who's in today's age with the social media, with all the effective tools to be able to lead something. And
knows how to talk to everybody in the room. I really like that. Dr. Steve Perry. That's another one for me.
Absolutely.
The man is on point. He's sharp as a tack. And he is all about mentoring. He's not all about getting the credit. He's about teaching other cats to do what he does, because he realizes he is much more effective if he can put 8 leaders in the room. If he can put 8 leaders in a room, and if he's only capable of getting 8 people, well, now he can get 64. You know what I'm saying? He's smart like that. And I really appreciate it, you know, his candor and his approach. He's not so judgmental. He doesn't wag his finger. And he ain't mad at you if you sag in your pants. He tells you some reasons why you should pull them up. But he don't let that be a deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? So that would be a person that I look at that I definitely think could lead. And you know what? I'm going to say it because we here. Because I'm going to say something right now. I'm going to say something.
Say it.
You got 2 cats right here that are more than capable of leading. They just need the platform for people to hear them, which is kind of how this thing was birthed.
Absolutely.
We have a lot to say, but never put ourselves in the platform to hear it. Thanks to social media now, we can do that for ourselves. We don't have to wait for a torch to be passed. We lit our own, and we go carry it, and we go make sure that we hand it down to as many people as we can along the way. Not when we tired of running. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that, that pretty much covers, you know, like black leadership. That covers it. Or lack thereof. But bottom line is, we have to have it in order to move forward. We have to have the agenda. We got to have, organization. So all of these things are absolutely necessary. So even if you think you're not a leader, even if you think you don't have the capability, or if history has scared you because you read enough books to see that black leaders get taken out pretty quick. Know this. Be true to what your nature is. If you're the one person standing in a room and in 10 minutes, 15 people are standing around you, whether you're telling a funny joke, a funny story, or whether you're talking about something that's important to you or something that happened in your life, you got leadership capabilities. So why not use those to make your world a little bit better? Because since we live in the same world, by you making that atmosphere better for you, you also making it better for me. Right. Keep that in mind. All right?
Sure.
All right.
Cooperation. Distribution.